Can Muslims and Christians marry? Exploring interfaith marriage rules. Interfaith marriages, particularly between Muslims and Christians, are a complex and multifaceted issue involving religious doctrines, cultural perspectives, and legal considerations. Both Islam and Christianity have distinct guidelines regarding marriage, which often influence whether and how adherents of these faiths can enter into interfaith unions. Exploring these rules provides insight into how each religion values marital unity, religious continuity, and the sanctity of shared beliefs. 1. Islamic perspective on interfaith marriage. In Islam, marriage is not only a social contract but also a religious covenant with spiritual dimensions. The primary purpose of marriage is to create a stable family structure and uphold Islamic values, including the faith of future generations. Islamic law, or Sharia, has specific rules regarding whom a Muslim may marry. Generally, Islam permits Muslim men to marry people of the book, which refers to women who are Christian or Jewish. This allowance is based on the premise that Christians and Jews share a belief in one God and have revealed scriptures. However, this permission is conditioned upon the Muslim man's commitment to preserving his faith and ensuring his children are raised as Muslims. Furthermore, Islamic law does not permit Muslim women to marry non-Muslim men, regardless of whether they are Christian, Jewish, or from another faith tradition. This restriction stems from concerns that a non-Muslim husband might influence his Muslim wife's religious beliefs and the faith of their children, potentially compromising Islamic teachings. Thus, Islamic rules on interfaith marriage are largely motivated by the desire to safeguard religious identity and foster a family environment aligned with Islamic principles. In many Muslim-majority countries, laws reflect these religious guidelines, either explicitly prohibiting or restricting marriages between Muslim women and non-Muslim men. In countries where Islamic law is the basis for family law, marriages between Muslim women and non-Muslim men are not legally recognized, while marriages between Muslim men and Christian or Jewish women are generally allowed. 2. Christian perspective on interfaith marriage. Christianity has a more diverse approach to interfaith marriage due to denominational variations. Generally, the New Testament advises Christians to marry, in the Lord, a guideline seen in verses like 2 Corinthians chapter 6 verse 14, which warns against being unequally yoked with unbelievers. Historically, this verse has been interpreted by many Christian communities as cautioning Christians to marry other Christians to maintain a unified faith within the family. However, there is no explicit prohibition against interfaith marriages in the Bible, and the interpretation of this verse varies widely. The Roman Catholic Church, for instance, permits interfaith marriages under certain conditions. A Catholic who wishes to marry a non-Christian or a non-Catholic Christian must seek permission from their local bishop. The Catholic party must also commit to raising their children in the Catholic faith, although they are not required to convert their spouse. Other Christian denominations, such as some Protestant churches, may not have formal restrictions but still encourage couples to share a common faith for spiritual harmony within the family. Orthodox Christianity, on the other hand, generally discourages interfaith marriages more strictly. Orthodox Christians are encouraged to marry other Orthodox Christians, and in some cases, interfaith marriages may only be conducted with the blessing of the Church if certain conditions are met, such as a commitment to raising children in the Orthodox faith. 3. Challenges and practical considerations in Muslim-Christian marriages. Muslim-Christian marriages often face unique challenges, especially in balancing religious practices, values, and expectations. One of the primary considerations is religious upbringing of children, as each faith places importance on passing down its beliefs to future generations. For instance, Islam requires that children in interfaith marriages be raised as Muslims, while Catholicism and other branches of Christianity may encourage raising children within the Christian faith. This discrepancy can lead to conflicts within the family, as spouses may have different perspectives on religious rituals, holidays, and beliefs, potentially creating tension or confusion for children. Couples must also navigate cultural differences, as Islamic and Christian traditions around family roles, gender expectations, and family involvement can differ substantially. In some cases, interfaith couples may choose to compromise or alternate religious practices, but they may face opposition from extended family members or religious authorities. Social acceptance is another issue, as interfaith couples may encounter resistance or disapproval from their faith communities, particularly in regions where religious homogeneity is expected or where interfaith marriages are discouraged. 4. Legal status and recognition of interfaith marriages. The legal recognition of interfaith marriages between Muslims and Christians varies globally, often depending on local laws and the degree to which religious doctrine influences legislation. In secular states, interfaith marriages are typically permitted and recognized by law, though some legal systems may impose specific requirements for documentation or officiation to ensure both parties are aware of their rights and obligations. In contrast, many Muslim-majority countries implement restrictions or conditions for interfaith marriages, particularly for Muslim women. In countries such as Saudi Arabia and Pakistan, interfaith marriages between Muslim women and non-Muslim men are not legally recognized. However, in some countries, such as Turkey or Lebanon, civil marriage is available, allowing couples to marry outside religious constraints. In such cases, couples may marry in a civil ceremony, though their marriage might not receive full religious recognition. Conclusion: interfaith marriages between Muslims and Christians present both opportunities and challenges, allowing couples to bridge cultural and religious divides while requiring careful consideration of religious obligations and family expectations. While Islamic and Christian doctrines approach interfaith marriage from distinct perspectives, both aim to maintain the integrity of faith within the family. For Muslim men, marrying a Christian woman is often permitted with conditions, while Muslim women face greater restrictions, reflecting the broader aim in Islam to preserve religious identity. Christian denominations vary in their approaches but generally encourage shared faith as an ideal for marital harmony. As globalization and multicultural societies increase, Muslim-Christian interfaith marriages continue to grow, requiring ongoing dialogue and understanding. Couples choosing this path may need to navigate religious, legal, and social challenges, but they also serve as examples of how love and respect can foster unity across diverse beliefs.